Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Tuesday edition of the JP Peterson Show here. So glad you are with us this morning. So much to get to. Lots of great stories and juicy topics to dive into, including the Bucs, 8 days to first place, a slogan that will go down in Bucs history. And we'll be talking about that. We'll hear from Todd Bowles. There's a new mock draft out that has 5 quarterbacks going in the first 7 picks. None of them to the Buccaneers, by the way. I don't know about all that. Victor Hedman is hurt. We'll find out if he's going to be able to play soon. Incredible Monday Night Football games last night, including someone near and dear to me that made her first Hard Rock bet last night on the app, Tim Ham, and cashed a $15 parlay bet for $347. $357.
Now she's going to be hooked, isn't she?
Yeah. Now she's going to be a jump. We're sitting there, and we're sitting in bed, and I'm like, I come up there, and TLC is not on. Like, 90 Day Fiance is nowhere to be found.
Uh-oh.
You have no idea what I'm talking about.
I've seen the show.
Yeah. Okay. It's god awful. It's so bad. Yeah. I'm forced to watch it at gunpoint. And she's watching football. I'm like, okay, all right.
Dream come true.
I'm not gonna rock the boat. I got a few bets. I got a few prop bets going here. I need Ty Spears over 37 total yards. Smashed it. Achan's got to get to 82. Didn't get there. Had a couple of good ones working. But I'm like, why is she so interested? And it's way past her bedtime. So Tennessee finally, converts this unbelievable first in 767 NFL games, a team down 14 points with 3 minutes to go, comes back and wins the game. And she's like, I'm like, we're watching the Manning cast and we're laughing. I'm like, holy crap, this is unbelievable. She's like, oh my God, both of these games are coming down to the end. This is incredible. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, why the F are you watching it? So only after she cashes the bet, she goes, oh, well, I guess I won my bet. I won your bet. She goes, yeah, well, I went on Hard Rock and got the Hard Rock app. I'm like, you did what? She goes, yeah, I went on. They gave me some free money. So, well, I'll let her tell the rest of the story when she comes on later in the show. And I'm like, you got to be effing kidding me. Your first bet ever, a $15 parlay, pays $357.
That's incredible.
I'm like, you effing suck. I hate you so much right now. You have no idea. I said, you have any idea how hard it is to hit a parlay like that? How do you have any idea?
And she did it on her first try.
First try. Every bettor out there right now is like, you mother.
Yeah. I can't even remember the last time I tried a parlay because of how hard it is. I don't think I've ever hit one.
I was a one as a 14-point dog and the other as a 7-point dog. Like, that's why it pays so much, because it never hits. Unbelievable.
That's insane.
So I told her she can come on and gloat at the end of the show.
Heck yeah.
It'll be fun. All right, we got the Ohtani contract. Oh, here's another a great little story before we get into some. So I'm playing John Smoltz for the division championship in fantasy football, right? Now, don't forget, in our crazy ass league, you got to sit your starters 4 games. You got to sit your best players 4 games. So you're neck and neck in the standings. You got to put your best players out there to get, to the point where you might play for the division championship. So we both have these scrub teams that are playing. His starting quarterback is Aiden O'Connell.
Who?
Hayden O'Connell from the Raiders.
The Raiders, right?
Versus Gardner Minshew.
Wow.
I got guys like Damian Pierce, who I picked up a couple weeks ago. I thought he might, refine his form. My running backs are Keaton Mitchell and Damian Pierce. Now, Deebo Samuel, thank God. Deebo Samuel got me 35 points. Chris Godwin got me 7.5. K. Dotton got me 8. My Broncos defense. So I'm up like 92 to 25, or actually like 20. And I have a 99% chance of winning. All he has left is his kicker and Saquon Barkley last night. And he's down 65 points. That's all he's got left. Well, guess who his kicker was?
No.
Aubrey.
No.
Yeah. Who sets I got to believe this is a fantasy record with 30 points.
For a kicker, sure.
Yeah, that's got to be a fan. The only way I lose big games, something historic has to happen. This is my luck in betting. Like something that hasn't happened in 1,000 years will happen for me to lose a bet. And this is it. 99.9% chance of winning, according to the tracker, right?
Yep.
And Aubrey goes out and hits a 60-yard field goal, which I guess is worth 15 points.
Probably.
Some ridiculous. And hits a 59-yard. Three over 50 and 3 extra points. 4 field goals for 30 fucking points. So he's got Barkley last night, and he needs 18.5 to win. And with 4 minutes left in the go to game, I'm still up by 3 points. Barkley rips off that 33-yard run where he breaks 2 tackles.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, crap, it's over. But wait, he fumbles the football. -2. I believe it's -2. And I'm like, okay. So, and this might be his last carry because they're probably going to hit a field goal. Or he might lose yards on a carry, which he did. I'm like, oh, so did he get enough yards? By 1 point.
Oh.
By 1, take off the fumble, 93-92 at that point. Now he added a one more run, I think, to get the 95. But
everybody hurts.
Yeah. So Smoltzy beats me that way for the division title.
Wow.
And I asked him to come on the show today just to gloat. He said he has a tea time, so he can't come on the show today.
Golf takes priority over the show.
Of course, absolutely, always does, especially for him. But we'll get him on. He said he'll come on with something, and he'll also try to explain the Ohtani contract, which is just absolutely fantastic. Have you seen this?
Yes, I've seen the breakdown. I've seen all of it. And just let me preface this as a Rangers fan, saying, because I knew that they were one of the so-called favorites. I am so happy he's going to the Dodgers.
Why?
I want no part of that. I want no part of that mess here in Texas.
To get him for $2 million a year? Why would you not want that?
I don't want him here. I don't want him in Texas.
Why?
Racist.
Why?
No, not racist. I like,
just kidding.
Although I don't like Asian women, but it's a different story. I'm one of the few dudes who don't think that's hot, but that's okay. We'll talk to Johnny Gerber about that one day. But we go to bars together. We never fight over women.
Oh my God! Yeah, right.
Exactly. I know the contract is very team friendly. It's very team friendly.
Yeah,
I just think it's a circus. And I love Ohtani. Look, I'm on record on our other shows saying that I think at this point, Shohei Ohtani might be the greatest baseball player that ever lived.
Yeah.
And I'm talking
There's an
over
argument
Babe
to be made.
Ruth. Yeah, because of the way he does it and what he does and the two-way play.
Well, it's a numbers game, right? And he's doing things that not even Babe Ruth has done. So yeah.
And I just didn't want it here. He's not going to pitch for at least a year, maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
And I don't like the injuries.
Yeah.
I think the injuries are going to mount. I really do, because of the wear and tear on his body. I think he's going to I don't think that's his last Tommy John, to be honest with you.
But from my perspective, it's like, I don't care. It's the $2 million a year player. Like, what about the deferred money? I don't care. It's that's the business office that has to deal with that. And I'm sure they're going to make so much money in TV revenue and merchandising off this guy from Japan alone, because that's a whole separate revenue stream from an entire different country that you're making money off of, which pays for a vast majority of whatever this deferred money is. And, I'm sure they're making interest on the money that he makes. I'm sure there's some dude in a back room that said, well, we're going to make, $25 million a year just in Japanese television rights to watch our games. And we put that money into a treasury bill or some shit.
Right.
What the hell these guys do, right? And we'll just let it amortize at X amount of dollars. And that will reach the front. I don't care. I don't even care.
Yeah, right? Now let me qualify all of that.
I get Ohtani for $2 million. Of course, I want to do that. Now the Rays would never do that, because that would, that wouldn't be a great financial deal. In some, Stu couldn't run into the, to the cigar lounge at Wall Street and say, look how I took these rubes down in St. Petersburg for $1.2 billion of public money. He can't do that. It's not probably not in the long run, a great financial deal, or maybe it is. And he could, I got Ohtani for $2 million. Well, we didn't get him. Maybe that's why we were in on it, because he sniffed the fact that he only have to pay him $2 million up front. Yeah. But I don't know. It just seems to me the rich get richer. Somehow, and it doesn't seem, even though there's no salary cap, it just doesn't seem, and I don't know, how does that get around the luxury tax?
Feels like there's a salary cap, doesn't it? Sometimes,
in
some of these smaller market teams.
Well, that's a self-imposed salary ceiling for owners who just want to make money and have no interest in winning, like Stu. Actually winning big. So but how does that circumvent the luxury tax? Does that $70 million count towards the luxury tax?
Because it's still on the books.
I would think it would. I think it would have to. And then, of course, Stu will be doing backflips.
Yeah, they don't care about that.
Yeah, Stu does backflips. His buddy Andrew Friedman's going to send him $20 million in luxury tax every year. Wow, that worked out well.
And I will tell you this: had the Rangers not just won the World Series, I would feel completely differently. Mm-hmm. I would say, go get him. I don't care what it costs.
Right. Exactly.
Pay him $50 million a year. I don't care. Go get a freaking World Series. But
it just, for small market teams, Jesus, why did I say that? God, see, even my brain has been molded into mush by the stupid media narrative in Tampa Bay that this is a small market team. Sorry. Right. For teams that artificially inflict a low payroll on their fans and their team, much better.
Yeah, there you go.
I feel better right now. Ooh, wow. That it sucks. It sucks for us as Rays fans, although I think I've divorced them. It sucks for Rays fans, because here we are, the rich get richer, and all the good players are going to end up in the big markets. It's disgusting, and it's terrible for baseball. And why this commissioner can't understand this and doesn't do something about it is beyond me. Like, attendance was up last year. Well, that's true. I just don't think the long-term, baseball, as far as I know, ratings are, I guess they're probably up from COVID, but declined overall over the last 10 to 15 years. You look at the numbers. What is there? Like less than half the people are watching the World Series now than did 10 years ago. Just overall ratings are down significantly since it's baseball's heyday. Maybe ticked up in the last couple of years, but for the most part down significantly. So I don't know. I just don't think it's good for baseball. And certainly not good for.
And I'll tell you this too. I think the commissioner's office in baseball is almost as useless as the NCAA. I don't think Rod Manfred has much power at all to do anything that he would want to do. It's not like the NFL commissioner's office. I don't know. I just think and you know what? I don't know that they want to rock the boat. When you become the commissioner of MLB, I think you're just trying to maintain what you've already got built, and you're just trying to not screw things up, right?
Yeah.
Whereas
I will give this to Manfred. I think that the speeding up the game was a dramatic home run. That was a grand slam of epic proportions.
Agreed.
I think it was absolutely phenomenal. But that was so needed and so obvious to me.
Yeah.
I don't want to give him a huge attaboy, but it was so needed and so obvious. But he did it, and to a lot of, there was a lot of pushback from the traditionalists. So I want to give him a little bit of credit for that, because I do think it was a dramatic change. It has helped baseball tremendously and was long overdue. That said, attaboy. But yeah, everything else they've done. But I think for the most part, these rule changes has been very positive. I think replay, they could still do a better job with replay. I think they're getting better at it. It's getting quicker. So that's good. But for the most part, I think the changes that have come through have been very, very positive. And I'll give them an attaboy for that. But I think also, it hasn't been, I don't think these changes were very controversial within baseball in terms of the players union. They weren't demonstratively hard to get through. So I think,
right.
But I'll give him credit for that. I think that's really good.
Real quick on replay before you move on here. Do you watch the XFL at all?
No. I have no time for spring football leagues. Zero.
Dude, I'm telling you, the XFL, I think it's awesome. I think it's great, especially the last year, right? The first incarnation of the redo from 2020. I covered the Renegades here in 2020. Yeah. Of course, it folded after COVID and all that. But one of the things I enjoy so much about the XFL is the transparency, and mostly the replay, the way the replays are done.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? You've got whoever it is in the booth, in the stadium, whatever the official is, and he is mic'd up and he is on camera and on TV as they are replaying the play, right? You hear everything, his discussion with the on-field referee, you hear everything, and it's boom, boom, boom.
Fantastic.
I love that. I would love the NFL to adopt that because it's amazing.
And think about this, Tim. Think about this. So they showed you from a logistics standpoint how easy it is to be transparent, right? And how much better it is. So why don't they do it, Tim? Why don't they do it?
Ulterior motives?
Oh, you think?
Script?
You think they don't want it transparent so they can control it? What advantages would that have? Let me think. Let's talk to Vince McMahon about that.
Oh, God, yes. Absolutely.
The people say, I don't want people to miss this. Oh, JP, you're a conspiracy. Tim are just those conspiracy tinfoil hat people. Really? Well, then explain to me. If the XFL can do it, why can't the NFL? But instead, here's the NFL model. And I want to ask you about this, even though it benefited the Cowboys. So in the first quarter, on CeeDee Lamb's first touchdown, there is an obvious, and I mean obvious, hold on one of the Eagles' defensive linemen who's trying to get outside and chase down Dak and escape the clutches of, I think he was getting double teamed. He's getting held by two guys. Yellow flag comes in. It's a blatant hold. No question about it. He's as blatant as my boy was offside. This is a hold. And it's at the point of attack that is germane to the play. I mean, it is a competitive advantage, obvious hold. But 3 seconds later, the Cowboys are in the end zone. Place is going nuts. Sunday Night Football. We got to get it. We need the Cowboys to win. We need the Cowboys to be a factor. The guy wearing a headset connected to New York says there's no foul on the play. Any explanation at all? We thought he was held, but he wasn't held. Replays show blatant hold. We're just picking up the flag. No explanation. And people are okay with this? You guys got a problem with the offsides? You're losing your minds over the offsides, but that's okay? That's okay? When do we just start picking up flags because we like the outcome of the play?
I've never seen more picked up flags than I have this season.
Why?
With no explanation.
No explanation.
Like they didn't say there was no holding on the play because we determined the player's hands were in the front of the other player. And he didn't, so give us a reason. If there's no holding, just tell us why. That's all you have to do. Just tell us why.
I can see the holding. It's blatant and it's right at the point of attack. It's complete. It's a complete everything. It's classic. You would put that on a training film for officials as to why this is an infraction. You just pick it up. No explanation. Now let's compare that with the XFL replay.
Mm-hmm.
So, conspiracy theories. Then explain it to me. Why are we doing this now and it's okay? How come people aren't losing their mind about that? I bet they are in Philly to some degree.
By the way, the referees' mics are mic'd up too, and as the referees talk to each other, they're on the broadcast as well. You hear everything on the field.
Oh, you think we'd ever hear that in an NFL game?
Nope.
No, because
and by the way,
what's
guys,
coming over the mic. This year, this is New York. Let's pick that flag up.
we need the Cowboys to score here. Let's go ahead and pick that up. We don't know if Dak can get the ball in the end zone. Otherwise,
no problem.
We can't give Dak a second chance to screw this up.
Yeah, I mean, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Why is there no talk about that? Because the NFL doesn't want you talking about that.
And by the way, JP Peterson listeners, it is not a conspiracy if it's true.
That's right. That's how this works. TJC22, very learned football mind, says, I'm pretty sure I've seen more flags picked up this year than I have in my 20-plus years of watching total.
Yep.
I
just said, yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely, 100%. It happens 3 times a game. That news flash for all you young kids, never before were flags picked up. A flag is thrown. That's part of the integrity of the game. Somebody sees something, they throw it. They have the autonomy to do so. They're not questioned. There's no discussions. Why is there discussion? Like Aikman was getting pissed last night.
Yeah, he was.
And rightfully so. On that kickoff at the end of the game, it hits the guy, and we're discussing this for 3 minutes. It hit him. It went out of bounds. Make the call. What are we doing? Oh, why are we discussing these things? Because somebody in New York's trying to figure out whether we're going to call it or not? I mean, why is there a discussion over this? Give me a reason. Why are we picking up flags? At least give me some type of explanation. But they don't explain it, because if they do, everybody's going to say that's bullshit.
And again,
there is no explanation besides we're trying to manipulate this game.
Yeah, and I'm all for getting the call right? That's what we want. That's why we want replay. We want the call to be accurate. We want it to be correct. But if you're going to pick it up because it was a bad call, great. Just tell us why. Tell us that. It's fine.
And this goes to a bigger, dare I say, conspiracy. And this is why people talk about this stuff, because you people in charge give us reason to. If you're transparent, I got no conspiracy to make. If you're transparent, if you're the XFL, you're not giving me any. He just explained it. I may not agree with it, what he said, but at least he explained it and he had a reason. And it wasn't because, I want the Cowboys to score so the ratings will be high throughout the game and we make more money. And listen, and here, I know some of you people are going to hate this, but didn't we just in the macro just say to Florida State, we don't care what your record is. You're boring and we need ratings. So you're not in. We're taking these other teams, these other brands that have quarterbacks that are playing well, and you don't get a chance. You're not a good ratings winner. And that's how we're deciding these things now. That's not even a conspiracy. They said it out loud. Did they not?
Yeah.
The Jordan Travis injury, your offense isn't good enough to win, but you win every game. You win with your defense. Yeah, we get that, but it's not pretty enough. They said that out loud because it's for ratings. Is that any different than, we're going to pick up this flag because we want this game to be good? Little did they know Dallas was going to blow out. You should have picked it up and would have made it a closer game. And that's, you screwed that up, by the way.
And some others too, by the way. And, I can remember seeing a picked up flag maybe once a year, watching every game of football every week. And now there's at least one per game. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's bananas. And and you see it all over sports. And that's, unfortunately for me, dude, and I know it hits home because it's FSU. I mean, I look at all these promos for the college football playoff, and I normally would be so excited to see this. I don't even know if I'm going to watch it. I'm so disgusted with the whole process. I don't know. Yeah. And it's not like, and who cares whether I watch it or not? Nobody does. But just in my heart, they've taken the joy of competition away from me.
Right.
Because it's all effing corrupt and it's all fixed. And I'm starting to really, really think that about the NFL because of the way they're handling their business. The only thing
they don't give you reason to not think that. Like they're not doing anything to prevent that.
No, they're not. There's no transparency. There's no transparency in the college football playoff. We got to go behind closed doors and have a secret ballot? For what? Why? It's football. Why? Why do we have a secret ballot? Who came up with this idea? Give me a reason. Oh, well, we don't want the people on the committee to get death threats. Then don't be on the committee. I mean, first and foremost, don't be stupid enough to make death threats, people. It's football.
Yeah, that's stupid.
I mean, if somebody goes against your will, I mean, if somebody makes it, nobody's going to get harmed.
Yeah.
And if you're that much of a wussy, don't do it. If you can't stand up there and give your reasons for why you think this, I don't stand up and give me a reason. That's fine. But make it make sense. Okay. And make it consistent with the precedent you've set for the last 10 years. And if you're going to go off the reservation, then tell me why. And you did, and a lot of people did. They said it's a beauty contest, but I just want everybody to know that's why you did it.
Yeah.
For ratings, not because of competition, not just, say, yeah, we're going against a precedent of 10 years because we think Florida State can't score offensively. But that's not how the game is played. So anyway, they were transparent about it. But this is stealing my joy in the NFL and watching the NFL. You're stealing my joy watching baseball with this Ohtani nonsense. You're stealing my joy in college football because you've bastardized the entire thing. And I have some really incredible NIL topics to talk about today, which might be a nice time for me to go right into them. By the way, we're going to get to Scott Reynolds at 10:30. Going to join us. So lots of Bucs coverage there. TJ Reeves, I believe he just texted me something else. So I don't know when. Yeah, we'll play that. So he's coming on at 11:40. So it just, yeah. Anyway, it's stealing my joy, bro. I want to enjoy sports, but is anybody else feeling like this? Is it anybody else feeling like sports has just become nothing but money? It's about nothing but money for the players, for colleges, for the TV, it's just, and it's corrupted because of money. Mm-hmm. That's where I'm at right now. I think I'll do a whole show on that tomorrow. I think that'll be tomorrow's monologue. And it's just, it's awful. It's awful. Ergo, and we'll get into this a little bit more because we got Scott coming up. So David Whitley, Gainesville Sun, I believe. I've known David for 40 years covering college sports. Super smart guy, great writer. He asked all the coaches in Florida, head coaches in the state of Florida, Division I, if they were allowed to, would they give part of their salary to the NIL collective? Since these like Mark Stoops in Kentucky, man, when he was questioned by a fan about losing, he said, well, if you want to complain, give more money to the collective. Oh yeah. Why don't you? Why don't you give some of that $9 million? Hey, Jimbo Fisher, why don't you give some of that $76 million to the Texas A&M collective? Or maybe better yet, the collective at Sam Houston State or some other lower level HBCU, some of your ill-gotten booty. Why don't you give some of that money away to those NILs? And here's what's interesting. So of the 5 coaches he asked, one said yes, but didn't want to be named.
Of course.
The other 4 didn't respond. Cowards. Mike Norvell might be one of them. I don't know. I think Norvell maybe was the guy who said yes, but didn't want to be named. I don't know. We don't know who. Yeah. Because that would piss the other coaches off. Because then they would all be expected to give some of their ridiculous salaries to the NIL. There'd be, quote, public pressure. Well, so be it. Either do it or don't. But don't be a coward and hide behind anonymity. What is wrong with do I just see the world the wrong way, buddy? I'm just like, where just honesty, transparency, where is it gone?
I think we might be the only ones that see it the right way, JP. And I think everybody else is eventually going to have to come around because it's getting to the point where you just can't hide this stuff anymore. You can't hide it like you could back in the day.
You just can't.
And it's almost unbearable now. It is. And again, it's not a conspiracy if it's true.
They can control. and they can control the the messaging now, which they do to a very large degree. So it's you have that, but you still have the internet, thank God, where we get most of these stories now. And there's still a few news outlets left that are like, somewhat open and honest and still have the right of free speech, but not many.
Right.
So I don't know. I feel like an old man screaming from the, get off my lawn, but damn it, there should be standards. There should be standards and there should be transparency, and everything shouldn't be controlled by these mega corporations who just want to do whatever they want and piss on us and tell us it's raining. I mean, the gaslighting is just off the charts. And I think fans are getting tired of it. I know I am getting tired of it. Well, I don't believe anything I see on the field is real.
Is every sport becoming wrestling?
I think so. I think they saw the financial model and said, Jesus, why aren't we doing this? We can control these games. Why aren't we doing it?
Yeah.
What we could, how much more money we could make through ratings? And it's like, that is the arbiter of everything. It's just, how much money can I make? Can we not just have one endeavor that's about competition or fun or just something besides the end game being money?
Yeah.
God, it's exhausting. All right, well, we got to take a quick break. Scott Reynolds coming up next here on the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Scott Jeeves has an office in St. Pete where he hangs out, and also in Tampa. He's a local guy, supports all the local philanthropic activities here. He's a part of so many civic events, and as we say, keep it local. Why go to an attorney that has nameless, faceless, some big firm that you're not going to get a call back when you can keep it local with somebody you could go see in his office on a daily basis? I don't think you should go every day, but you could if you wanted to. It's the Jeeves Law Group. JEEVES lawgroup.com. Back in 3. Stay with us. Are you tired of those stuffy, overpriced sports bars? Well, come join the fun at the Patio in South Tampa and watch your favorite football teams under the stars in a tropical paradise. Yeah, it's a unique setting with huge wood decks beneath the trees, and don't worry, they have an inside AC bar with all your favorite bar games as well. The Patio has all the NFL and UFC sports packages, and it's home to the Tampa Gator Club and Bills Mafia, but all fans are welcome at any time. Hey, my FSU buddies love to watch the Noles at the Patio. It's also home to a great happy hour. Weekdays, get $4 White Claw vodka drinks and $4 White Claw seltzers, $1 off all beer and wine from 3 to 7:30. And every Friday happy hour, join us for Football Friday. It's our live broadcast from 5 to 7 with tons of specials and the fan mic for you to join the show. We'll have swag and ticket giveaways as well. So come out for the live broadcast 5 to 7 every Friday at the Patio and come watch football in a tropical paradise all season long. It's 421 South McDill, just a few blocks south of Kennedy. Everyone meets at the Patio.
Hey guys, are you experiencing those feelings of getting older, lower sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, or you just don't feel like you had the vitality you once had? It's a chronic problem here in the United States. You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well, so do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Look, testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability, not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Folks, I've been on testosterone therapy for over 6 years, and it is a life changer. You will feel and look better than you did 10 years ago. Give them a call at 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com.
JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA two-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. He also has a law degree from Stetson. So if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom, you want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips. Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or trying to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to geddesgordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com or call 813-485-6808.
Coming back at you.
Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. We want to welcome in our good friend Scott Reynolds from the Pewter Report. And, Scott, I don't know if you heard my last little rant there about everything in sports seems to be not what it appears to be, but it's ignited a firestorm in our comment section. I think a lot of fans are just kind of just pissed off at what's going on in sports now. It just seems everything is corrupt. It's not transparent. And God, I'm even having doubts about what the hell's going on in the NFL now. It's just picking up flags. Why are they picking up so many flags without explanation? This was never a thing because it goes through the integrity of a game. An official makes a call. He's supposed to have autonomy to make the call. Yeah. And now everything. Now there's a discussion. They're connected to New York. Every headset is connected to New York. They're giving us reasons to doubt the credibility of this product.
Yeah, no, it's true, and I don't think the officiating has gotten any better over time. I think it's been worse, to be honest. I think it's just really bad that that you have a situation with these refs where it's hurting the game, right? Yeah. I mean, we don't know what we have no idea what roughing the passer is anymore. We have a hard time identifying what a catch is. We don't know what pass interference is. Yeah. Because from crew to crew, it varies. And I think that's one of the real big problems is, and you hear coaches like Todd Bowles talk about it all the time, guys. It's like, well, we know this crew likes to call it tight, right? It's like, okay, well, why does that crew call it tight? But then the one last week didn't, right? Yeah. Well, this crew, they like to let them play. Well, like if you're at the NFL, like it should be androids out there, like it should be robots out there, where you don't know. Oh, this this guy is known for this. This guy and his crew, they throw 20 flags a game. Like it shouldn't be that way. It should be every crew should be some faceless monolith of people out there that are just calling the game the way it should be called consistently from crew to crew, week to week. But it's not.
It's not that hard, Scott. We're old enough to remember when a catch was a catch. Yeah. Right? We're old enough. And I've said this all along. Why did they start doing this? Because the ambiguity leads to the ability to change outcomes.
Yes.
I'm sorry. There's no,
you're right.
What if you were clearly interested in the purity of sport and making it fair for everybody, then as Tim pointed out early in the show, you would have the transparency of replay that the XFL does.
Sure.
Where you hear the entire conversation of all the officials within it, and then they make a ruling. Why don't they do that in the NFL? They can do it. Clearly. Yeah. Why don't they?
The other thing too is
only one reason.
Yeah. The other thing too is that I can't stand is that on Hail Mary plays, like they just let whatever happen, right? It's a free for all. They're rarely going to call pass interference or defensive holding or whatever. And I think that has to change because, the Hail Mary can be one of the most electric plays in football, right? It can be one of the most exciting plays. I mean, crap, we saw the Jets Hail Mary pick six, right? I mean, that was one of probably the best play of football all year. They've already taken out kick returns, right? I mean, there's no more kick return for a touchdown that either flips the field or it gets a score. Everything's now it's either a touchback or it's
ridiculous.
It's a fair catch. It is. So you've already taken the kicking game out of it, except for kicks and punts now. And punt returns, they seem like they've kind of gone by the wayside as well. The days of Jesse or Devin Hester, Deion Sanders, they're gone.
Well, unless you're the Baltimore Ravens.
Unless you're the Baltimore Ravens, and then you have a punt return guy apparently.
Yeah.
But to me, I think the NFL should come up with a Hail Mary rule, which would allow refs the opportunity to call a flag and have it be a 15-yard penalty, right? And so you might think, okay, well that's going to encourage more because it's only 15 yards. Yes, but now you're 15 yards closer, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you get another shot at it.
Yeah.
Hail Marys are a very low percentage play anyways.
Right.
And so the danger is, let's say you're throwing it from the 50-yard line. Okay, now all of a sudden the ref calls a flag, and now you're at the 35-yard line, and you're Patrick Mahomes, and you got one more shot. And you can do it again? Okay, because now you've gone to the 20-yard line from the 35, right? So, I mean, it would be a huge deterrent to not, to not have pass interference. But it also
have the ability to make the call because you're not putting it at the 1-yard line and
exactly
awarding them a touchdown.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes. I mean, to me, that's an easy fix.
Yeah.
And it makes it so much more fair to teams like Tampa Bay, where, Chris Godwin was almost tackled in the end zone, right? Yeah. And then you've got Cade Otton, who was mugged at the 2-yard line with two guys sandwiching him, Yeah. And so, I just, there's no consistency when it comes to officiating anymore. And I think probably the most egregious place it's occurred is roughing the passer, which to me, I don't know what roughing the passer is anymore.
And it changes games, and it has changed games.
Yes.
Changed games. I mean, Brady, that roughing the passer against the Falcons was a game changer.
Yeah.
And it was ridiculous. I mean, I think the Falcons clearly win that game because they're running the ball at will. They get the ball back. All they got to do is turn around and hand it off. They're going to score. Yeah. So that, and did the league have a vested interest in getting Tom Brady in the playoffs? Hell yes.
Of course they did.
I mean, hell yeah. Compared to the Atlanta Falcons?
Right.
Hell yes.
Yeah, because the Falcons are going to choke anyways once they get the playoffs. So why would you want them in the playoffs?
Exactly. So all these people, you conspiracy nuts. Well, then don't give me so much freaking evidence to connect it to
exactly. Yeah.
When you can control that. Stop calling this stupid shit. And we were there. You and I were there the day all this changed. And you know what day I'm talking about. Bucs versus Rams. St. Louis. Yes. The Bert Emanuel catch, no catch. They wanted no FSU. You think this is new? Nah,
that happened to the Bucs in 1999.
It's not. No, go see Bucs winning
the greatest show on turf. They wanted them. Yeah, they wanted them in the championship or in the Super Bowl. I mean, it's pretty clear. You've got
the greatest show on turf.
Kurt Warner, the story, right? You've got Torrey Holt, you've got Isaac Bruce, you got Marshall Faulk. I mean, would you rather have that or Sean King? And
Sean King and Keyshawn Johnson lumbering down the field.
Right, exactly.
Please.
Yeah.
So. Nobody. So, you think this is new FSU? Go talk to Warren Sapp and Derek Brooks, who I was texting this morning. Yeah. Do you think they believe that? I think they do.
It's a great point. Yeah. It really is.
By the way, the 99 Rams, the very first team to play indoors to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Interesting.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm the master of useless knowledge.
Yeah. I mean, it wound up being a great Super Bowl. The Tennessee Titans were like a yard away from winning the game.
Mike Jones? Was it Mike Jones that made the greatest tackle in Rams history?
I think so. Yeah. That sounds familiar.
Yeah. At the 1-yard line. Oh my Lord. Yeah. I was there in Atlanta for that game, but it goes back that far. And that's when they realized that they could manipulate games with what's a catch and what's not a catch. If you make it ambiguous and you can make a case either way,
right,
then you can control games with big calls.
The thing is,
and that's why the pass interference thing went to quote replay.
Right.
And that was such a disaster. They had to overturn. They said, oh yeah, we've gone too far now. We're really manipulating games now.
Well, the other thing too is, speaking of manipulation, it's not like he's disqualified from having an opinion or the right to express that opinion. But for Kirk Herbstreit to come out and say some of the things that he said about Florida State and all that stuff, it's like, you work for ESPN, right? You work for ESPN, and ESPN is in direct involvement with the college football playoff committee. It's just, it's like I don't want to get political, so I'm not going to. But it's just we could go in a lot of different directions.
I have the clip here. I have the clip here if you want to hear it.
I heard it. I heard it. It's just it's he talks about conspiracy theorists and
Timmy, you want to play it? You want to play it?
Yeah, I can. Is it the McAfee one?
Yeah.
What are we talking about? Yeah.
So for the people
have maybe given you like a gift, have they like said like, hey Kirk, thanks for going out there?
I didn't know I voted on it. I had an opinion, like you had an opinion, and AJ and Connor, everybody has an opinion. It's subjective. It's not like the NFL. It's like, okay, we got this tiebreaker in the NFC South. Okay, this team and this team, they're tied. I don't know, whatever it is. Okay, let's look at head to head or their record within the division. There's ways. There's no arguments at the end of the NFL season. In college football, it's subjective. And a lot of people don't understand the cluster and what, all these people that are upset. Do they ever break down when they get to a cluster of teams? This is what the committee is asked to follow. No. Have you ever heard that?
No. Why would they do
when
that?
people bitch and complain?
No, they don't like cheating.
They don't like facts. They don't like information. They like conspiracy theories.
Now you're kind of taking a shot at
Who's they?
The people that are radical and upset and throwing conspiracy theories out there that aren't true.
Easy.
That's
there we go.
That's who they
there
are.
We go.
Here's the funny thing about that. Here's the funny thing about that is he's talking about these clusters, right? Okay, well, great. Let's expand on that. Like, what do you know about these clusters, Kirk? It's like he kind of opened the door and then shut it real quick because it's like he's in the know about, well, this is exactly the criteria they're looking for, but then he doesn't say it, right? He doesn't come out and enlighten us as to what the cluster is and what the rules are that they follow when it comes to a cluster, right? And it all comes down to
supposed to be with comparable records. When there's a tiebreak between teams with comparable records, then you can use things like a key injury or a coaching change. They didn't have comparable records.
No,
those teams
when you're
had
undefeated,
one loss.
you're undefeated.
FSU had 0 losses.
Right.
So Kirk, you don't know the facts, and you are hiding behind the subjectivity. But anyway, that's not. We'll get to the Bucs now. But I think there's a lot of people out there that are feeling the NFL is just a little bit too crazy right now as far as.
Yeah, and the other thing too is now that they're getting into official betting and all of that, which used to be the biggest no and sin. I mean, they've got a franchise in Las Vegas now. I mean, they're just piling in it for the money. That's all this is about is money and TV ratings, which equals money.
Right.
So it's sad. I mean, I grew up. I'm 51 years old. I grew up watching a different game. And I like that game better than today's product. I really do, and I don't want to see anybody get hurt or whatever, but it's like, they have a draft in the NFL, but it's not like a military draft where you're forced and compelled to go, right? It's like if you draft Bo Jackson first overall and he's like, I don't want to go play for Tampa Bay or football in general, right? Yeah. Okay, well then, you know what I'm saying? It's voluntary. You sign up for this. You sign up for this to become with hopes and dreams of becoming a multimillionaire and not just setting up yourself, but your family with generational wealth for years to come.
That's
right. Oh, and by the way, if you're not that guy and you play in the NFL for the career average of 3 years, you're still entitled to a lifetime pension, medical benefits for the rest of your life. It's not a bad gig.
I'll risk it.
Have that, right? To fall back on. Oh, and by the way, if you're done for 3 years, go sell some insurance, go start a business.
Yeah, you can work.
You can work, exactly. So it's not a bad gig from what I've heard. And so the thing is there are some occupational hazards, right? Yes. Working in a coal mine in West Virginia has occupational hazards.
Being a cop,
being a cop has occupational hazards, right?
Yeah. We need to make
same thing with the armed forces, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I've got arthritis in my hands from typing a whole bunch, right? I've got a messed up finger. Booger McFarland has got he's got like 9 of these messed up fingers.
That's an ugly finger, by the way.
Yeah, I blocked a punt in high school. I caught the tip of the ball right there, and well, you know what they did back then, JP, right? The coach, right, who was a PE teacher,
a couple of popsicle sticks.
Yeah, he's like, come here,
and some tape.
That was my orthopedic care, right? Was the like that, and then we tape these fingers together with a popsicle stick. You're exactly right. and probably some surgical tape for that game and then the rest of the season, right? And then, if it's still bothering you at the end of the season, go have a doctor take a look at it.
Yeah, beautiful thing.
That was it back. That's football back in the 80s for you.
It's a better
all right,
time.
so so much better. All right, so let's chat a little bit about this win, and I don't want to take away anything from the guys and what they did on the field, especially the Bucs defense. I thought they played one hell of a football game on so many levels. And listen, and we've talked about this forever, and I feel completely vindicated now that our thoughts and discussions about Devin White hurting this team are not debatable anymore. After,
not at all.
When he's on
it's
the
not
field,
just JJ Russell. Now it's KJ Britt, who has played better than Devin White. Yes.
And it's not only the more play that they're making more plays.
They're not making mistakes.
The key moments in the game where they would use Devin White in the red zone to set him up and take advantage of him and get easy touchdowns aren't happening anymore.
Right.
Shocking development.
Yeah.
And the fact that Todd Bowles literally went in front of a microphone and said, this is my best defensive player or second best defensive player on this team, I mean, is unconscionable. Number one, the borderline total incompetence. I know he knows better, but the fact that he did it and kept him in there for so long is the reason this team is where it's at.
Yeah.
Full stop.
It's not all on Devin White, but it certainly looked a lot better since he's not been in the lineup. I mean, that's just a fact. The thing I'll say is this: the positives are the Buccaneers came back to win. Right? It was like the opposite of the Houston Texans game. They actually came back and got the go-ahead touchdown and then prevented the other team from scoring, and they won the game. So that's a positive. 148 yards on the ground, season high, is a positive. Rachaad White continuing to be electric as a player who can run or catch. That's a positive. Baker Mayfield not turning the ball over was critical because Desmond Ridder, who maybe outplayed him in terms of passing yardage, completion percentage, etc., had the interception that led to Bucs points, had the sack fumble that led to a safety, right? So Baker not having any turnovers ended up being the better quarterback despite completing less than half of his passes and having 101 yards before heading into that final drive. The other thing, of course, is the Buccaneers now are in the lead for the NFC South via tiebreaker. So those are the positives. The negatives are 10 quarterback pressures on Ridder, despite the Falcons having 4 of their starting offensive linemen out. Younghoe Koo missed 2 field goals, which is 6 points, which is the difference in the game, right? Yep. You beat the Falcons, which you kind of get credit for, but the Falcons are known for choking, especially at home.
Yep.
So there's that. I'm not trying to discredit this Bucs win because they went out, they got
keeping it real, Scott. Don't feel bad.
Yes. But at the same time, I think this is going to be short-lived. You saw the Packers lost last night, and you might think, ooh, this opens up an opportunity for the Buccaneers. Well, of course there's an opportunity for the Buccaneers, but the Packers didn't have RB1, which is Aaron Jones, wide receiver 1, which is Christian Watson, cornerback 1, which is Jair Alexander, and linebacker 1, which is Quay Walker.
Yeah.
So they didn't have their starting linebacker, cornerback, wide receiver, and running back. The best at all 4 of those positions were out last night. 2 of those guys, Jones and Alexander, are expected to be back, and possibly all 4 for this week's game, which actually is a must-win game now for the Packers, who are now 6-7.
That's right.
So
at home in fairly balmy weather.
Exactly. But this is going to be the Bucs' greatest test, I think, since the Lions game, because they're going up there where we've heard the statistic. Matt LaFleur was undefeated in December, dating back 16 games up in Lambeau. They play so much better at home. They just do. Having said that, there is a chance now that the Buccaneers, if they win this game, can really get some momentum because they have not won 3 games in a row all year long. Then you're coming home to play a Jacksonville Jaguars team, and at least you've kept serve. And the reason I say that is because the Saints will be hosting the Giants this week. The Falcons will be traveling to the Panthers. It's reasonable to expect the Saints and the Falcons win. And that means the Buccaneers have to win to stay in the NFC South lead. If not, this NFC South lead that we're all, crowing about is going to be short-lived.
Yes. You got it in 8 days. It'll be gone in 7.
Right.
So and that's completely true. There were lots of positives to this game, but still, the offense in general was a disaster.
Yeah, 85 yards
in first. I mean, it's just that's awful. And when looking at the tape, and I'm trying to figure out why. Number one, Baker has been bad the last 3 weeks. He's been really, really bad.
Yeah.
He's been inaccurate. He's not throwing on time. He will not pull the trigger. Yeah. Guys are open. Mike Evans is open. I don't know if he can't see him. He's terrified of throwing a pick. The protection seems to be okay when he hits his back foot. Let it go. He's not letting it go until he has to at the end of the game when he made the plays. So that's my first thing. Baker
I agree with
is
that.
holding the damn ball. So what do you do about it?
You run Rachaad White. That's what you do. You take the ball out of Baker's hands and give it to a guy that's had 100 yards in 2 out of the last 3 games and 84 yards in between that. Rachaad White has come on. This offensive line has really come on. And
as we predicted, by the way.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was going to take some time. So to me, it really is something to behold that has taken this long, but now 120 yards, 125 yards, 148 yards rushing in the last 3 games. It's pretty impressive.
And Devin's been over 100 yards, I think, from scrimmage in every one of those games. Like
Rachaad?
Yeah, Rachaad. Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Otherwise.
And he's become kind of that complete running back that the Buccaneers were hoping he was going to be, because this was a guy that averaged 10 yards a catch.
Yeah.
At Arizona State in his 2 years there. So, I mean, he is a real weapon. I mean, that's a first down every time you catch the ball, folks. I mean, that's really good. Leonard Fournette in 2021 was averaging about 7 yards per catch. And that was pretty good. That's a pretty good number for running back. But Rachaad is at 9.8, right? He's got 2 touchdowns on screen passes. I would say to Dave Canales, get him the ball more in screens. I would dial up 1 or 2 screen passes a week for this guy, because when he is in space past the second level, he can make defenders miss, man. He's got some open field wiggleness about him. As a big back who's like 220 pounds, he can make safeties miss. He can stiff arm cornerbacks. Get him the ball with some blockers on the perimeter and let him do his thing. I mean, he took that Tennessee Titans screen pass down the sidelines for a touchdown. The Falcons one started off to the left.
Yep.
And then he kind of weaved towards the middle of the field. So he's got a great vision in the open field. We're seeing less hesitancy from him as a runner. I mean, he really has become weapon number 2 for the Buccaneers behind Mike Evans. And thank God he was actually weapon number 1 on Sunday and carried this offense, because Mike Evans was shut down. Yeah.
Yeah, true. And I said this yesterday, and I think it's true. And we're not trying to be negative. We're just trying to keep it real. If the Bucs don't win that game, they give up 2. They were so soft in that last few minutes. Thank God they got Drake London on the ground.
Oh, you mean Joe Tryon-Shoyinka?
Oh my God. So bad. But plus he's rushing 3 the whole time on the final drive, just like he did against, and maybe he rushed 4. But he certainly didn't blitz a guy or a team that had 4 new offensive linemen in there. I mean, how you just let him sit back there and pick apart a soft zone? They're lucky they won the game. That's all I'm saying. The 4th down call, you gave it to Rachaad White on that last drive. That's a hell of a run. Yeah. There wasn't a whole lot of hole there. That was one hell of a run.
Yeah.
Won the game.
Aaron Stinney, man. Aaron Stinney played a massive game in that 4th quarter.
And Cody Mauch.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
Since Stinney's come in, Mauch's play has been tremendous. I didn't know Filer was killing 2 guards at the same time. I mean, so Hainsey's been, they've all been so much better. Right. And and one of the things I was going to talk about, this screen pass, they are so good in space. These linemen, they're good on when they're pulling. Yeah. Now, when they're doing that zone run bullshit, and they can't move anybody. Right. Like on the toss sweep 4th down call.
Yeah. They were deploying toe, which is tackle on will, which is where you bring one of your tackles.
Yes. Yeah.
Your strong side tackle to the weak side, right? And they did that a lot in the 4th quarter with Luke Gedeke, the right tackle, pulling him down the line of scrimmage into the weak side B gap, right? Because that's Aaron Stinney's hole. And what Stinney does is he posts his defensive tackle to Hainsey, right? Post, and then he goes to the second level and goes after a linebacker, usually the Mike, right? The Mike's flowing down. And then the will as he is coming in that hole to replace Denny, he's getting walloped by Gedeke, 320 pounds coming at you like a stick of dynamite,
Yeah.
And I mean, there were some big time holes. Chase Edmonds' 15-yard run in the fourth quarter was on toe, which is tackle one way, which is that tackle on the weak side linebacker block. And Rachaad White had gains of 5 and 6 yards through that hole in the weak side B gap as well. Stenny was incredible at the point of attack. Gedeke was tremendous as a puller. They even did go, which is GOW, guard on will. They brought Cody Malk into that same B gap on the weak side.
He's so good in space.
He's very
so
good,
athletic.
Man. He's very athletic.
I mean, he exploded in that block on that screen pass. He took his guy 15 yards and took him so far past the play where Rachaad White cuts off his ass. Safety has to go around him. Bates had to go around the other side, and that cut left it wide open. And when you're moving people like that in open space and you got a guy that can read and set up blocks like Rachaad White, man, you got to do a lot of that. Why do they do so much of this zone crap when their guys are so
I think they're starting to get away from it now. I think Canales is seeing what's working.
Lowered.
Well, this is what used to kill me. I remember asking Bruce Arians because he had a nifty little play to one of like their third down back a couple of years ago. I forgot who it was. He rarely saw it at the field, but it was like a little out route out of the backfield for 11 yards, picked up a first down. And I remember asking Bruce Arians, I'm like, was there any thought to maybe going back to that play since it worked? He's like, oh, no, you can't run the same play in the same game. Defenses are too smart for that, And I mean, listen, Bruce Arians.
Brady run the same play.
Bruce Arians has forgotten more football than I've learned. Okay, I'll be the first to say that. So I'm not disparaging Bruce whatsoever. But I've asked Dave Canales, do you keep running the same play? I ask it in jest because I'm seeing it on film, right? Yeah. And he's like, yes, of course. He's like, if we're having success, we're going to. This is the old Pop Warner approach that we used to deploy at the South Pasco Predators. Run it until they stop it. Right? And we didn't invent that phrase. That's a universal phrase that football at every level, not every place, of course. Bruce wouldn't deploy that tactic, but it works. Yeah. Run it until they stop you.
Yes.
And now sometimes that can have disastrous consequences, right? If you do enough film study, right? If you're Carlton Davis and you see Bijan Robinson kind of like motion to the flat like that, that little flare pass to Bijan's coming, like he did. He stepped in front of it, picked it off, right? Just like Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, right, knew that down there by the goal line, Desmond Ridder was going to be, that was like a read option, right? Mm-hmm. And it could be a keeper. Why? Because Joe Tryon-Shoyinka had perfect outside leverage on that play. He read it perfect. He didn't suck down to the back. He was actually keying the quarterback, which was his job.
Yeah.
How Desmond Ridder got past him, I have no idea. No. I guess it's just an incredibly soft football play. But man, so you can figure out what's going to happen as a defensive guy and make the adjustments, right? But until you do that, keep running it if it's working. And that's what Canales did in the fourth quarter against the Falcons.
Now, what I was going to ask you was, if they don't win this game, the entire narrative this week is you had 9 men on the field and you didn't know it and you didn't call timeout.
Yep.
And they scored, you lost the game.
Yeah.
Todd Bowles should be fired today.
Yeah.
And the fact that you win the game, nobody really talks about it. It's not that big a deal.
That's right.
I'm here to tell you it's a huge deal.
Well, it's a huge deal.
Never
in back-to-back games now, you've had 1 or 2 less guys on the field in goal line situations. They had the same thing on a Chuba Hubbard touchdown. They had 10 men on the field.
There's being on the details, which is what you're supposed to be.
Right.
And completely lacking the most obvious fundamentals.
I think we all agree.
My God,
if you're gonna screw up with personnel, by God, man, at least have 12 men in the field.
Have 12 for effing's sake. How do you have 9? I remember watching the replay and he scored.
Yeah.
And Archuleta goes, there's no linebacker there. And I'm like, what? What defense are they in where you don't have a linebacker?
Right.
Like,
well, the other thing too is what Bull said on Monday was, our coaches didn't know about Will Golston's injury. Well,
they 75 coaches on staff.
They stop play on the field, right? The entire medical staff comes out to assist Will Golston, who's walking gingerly off the field after sitting down there on the field. It wasn't like, Golston, hopped off the field under his own power. They stopped play. They had all the trainers go out there on the field. What are these coaches doing? What's Casey Rogers, the defensive line coach, doing while Will Golston, one of his defensive tackles, is on the field? How do you not see that?
His replacement, like I remember playing Pop Warner ball and high school football. Like I knew, okay, if this guy goes down, I'm in.
That's right.
And that's if you're on the sideline, that's all you have to.
That's it.
You're watching that guy.
I was a defensive line coach in Pop Warner, and when I saw one of my defensive linemen go down, the first thing I do is I go to his backup and say, "You're in on every defensive play until I tell you that you're not." Right?
Yeah.
And the reason why you're not in anymore is because the injured starter is now ready to return to the lineup. It's that simple.
And what was
It's
the other
all
one?
you got to
So
do.
we didn't know a guy was hurt, even though the entire training staff was out there and stopped the game for 2 minutes. For this game was stopped for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Like you didn't have time. I can understand if they're going tempo and you can't get a guy out there.
Right.
The game was stopped for 2 minutes.
Right.
Like,
But
how
that
is
only
this
excuses
possible?
that only excuses one guy missing. They had two guys missing.
We haven't even worked. We're not even on the next one yet.
I know. Yeah. So that excuse only works on Will Golston. You still have a missing guy. So
all right, who's the other? And the other one is someone didn't get the call.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
And how do you not call timeout?
Because you collect timeouts if you're Todd Bowles, right?
Oh, I forgot. That's right. He's saving the timeouts.
It's like kids collect rocks. Todd Bowles collects timeouts. It's just
going to keep them till the end of the year.
Yeah, that's right. And then what you do is JP, you didn't understand that's one of the tiebreakers in the NFC South is if all your records are equal, it goes to division record, it goes to conference opponent, you're past the head-to-head tiebreaker, then it goes to how many timeouts do you have collected throughout the season?
Timeout saved.
And Todd Bowles is going to say, me, I won, we're in.
They're going to win the division. That's it.
Yeah.
You dumbass. Peterson and Reynolds. I've been working on this plan all year long. You don't even know about the tiebreaker TOS. Yeah. You dumbasses, you POSs.
Yeah. It's the seventh tiebreaker, JP, in the NFC South.
Dumbasses. God, I'm so far ahead of you people.
Yeah.
Golly. All right. On that note,
hey, listen, we got to play it better. We got to coach it better. We got to call timeout it better. Okay.
Oh my God, you're fantastic. All right, tell everybody how they can get this kind of fantastic analysis on the Peter Report.
Oh, we have it multiple times during the day on PeterReport.com and our articles.
You're going to do an article, TOS, the key stat that Todd Bowles has been working on.
Yes. Buccaneers lead the NFC South in timeouts collected. So you can check out our incredible Bucs content where we actually do track Todd Bowles' timeout usage. We don't, but we should. In hindsight, we should have. That's on us.
Timeout tracker.
Yeah. But you can check out all of our great content at PeterReport.com. We do the Peter Report podcast 4 times a week. We do it Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 4:00 p.m. live. If you miss it, you can catch our episodes in archive format, our podcasts and video format on Peter Report TV. It's our YouTube channel. Subscribe, become one of the 12,600 and whatever we're up to now subscribers.
You guys are awesome.
And you can also follow all the hilarity and Bucs coverage on X, Facebook, and Instagram at Peter Report.
Never a dull moment. Never a dull moment.
Bucs always keep it.
Scott Reynolds, fantastic hair today, by the way. I did not mention that.
Thank you very much.
On everything.
Appreciate
it, partner. Great stuff.
Man.
That was a great 35 minutes right there. That dude is.
That's already over.
Yeah, right. God, maybe we may have gone longer. I need to start paying him more money.
Right.
Yeah, or everybody more money.
That was a good segment.
Isn't that insane? It's like 9 men on the field in goal line.
I've never seen that.
And nobody's talking about it. It's like, oh, we won. It's as I said yesterday, it's crazy how different the narrative is based on the win. And you say, well, duh. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be so grotesquely different. You should, just because the outcome, which is, as razor thin as it possibly could be, could have gone either way. You still should say you had 9 men on the field. For the second week in a row, you gave up a touchdown because you didn't have enough men on the field. Like that's that I don't even know what to say about that on a professional level. On a professional level.
So for those of you that don't know, we'll pull back the curtain a little bit. Todd Bowles' ineptitude with timeouts has gotten so ridiculous. It's to the point that now when I'm watching an NFL football game and a coach, regardless of the team, calls a timeout inside of 2 minutes, even on defense, I have to text JP and say, hey, look, so-and-so called a timeout inside of 2 minutes on defense.
You know, you see, I was watching a high school state championship the other day. Coach, you're doing it. It's high school.
The high school level.
High school level. Yeah, we're doing it.
Let's steal another possession at the end of the half because we're getting the ball back to start the second half. Worked out really well for the Seahawks till they lost to the Cowboys, but that almost put them ahead.
Yeah, yeah. And by the way, the fact that people say, well, you know, sometimes that doesn't work. It doesn't matter. If you have it didn't work because your execution sucked on the back end, not because you gave yourself an opportunity.
Right.
Giving yourself an opportunity is a given. If you don't do something with that opportunity, that's on you as a football team and your execution and, again, your coaching. So don't give me, it didn't work the other day with JP when he did it. Well, that's because your stupid-ass play calling, number one, and your terrible execution by your quarterback. That you got to give yourself as a coach. I mean, it's no different than a turnover. Getting an extra possession by just manipulating the clock with your first half timeouts is like getting a turnover. It's an extra possession. And how important are turnovers in deciding games?
Yeah.
The most important. If you can steal, this is not some, well, you should do it, but if you don't, it's not that big a deal. No. It's an extra free. It's like getting a turnover.
It's exactly the same as a turnover.
It's no different. Now, it's not like getting a turnover at their 5-yard line, but you're probably going to get, at the worst case, at the 25-yard line. If you do something really good, if it's a punting situation and they're in their own end, you may have the ball at the 40. So you've got 20 yards to go, 30 yards to go to get a freaking field goal, especially with your kicker.
Yeah.
I mean,
you only got to get to the 50.
Fucking rocket science. And again, I know I love Todd Bowles as a human. He is just the greatest dude ever. But my God, this incompetence it's legendary. You had 9 effing people on the field a week after having 10. Did you not practice this? Did we not go? Do they even freaking practice watching this offense and how the receivers and the quarterback are never on the same page? How the busts in practice, busted coverages for a touchdown at least once a game. There are teams. Oh, my lighting is. I'm so crazy here. There are teams that go the entire year without having a busted coverage for a touchdown. We do it every game. Every game. There are teams that go their entire year that don't have a too few people on the field penalty or just situation. Entire seasons. We do it every game. Sometimes twice a game. Folks, the level of incompetence here is staggering. The Devin Whites, the Matt Filers, the Yaya Diabis. I mean, it's so idiots like me can turn on the tape and see this stuff. But this coaching staff, I don't know. You think we should put that Diaby guy in? He's kind of 6'3", 275. And every time he goes in, makes a play. Marquise Watts, you know what? He's like schooling Wirfs and Gedeke in practice all the time. And then we put him in the game and he got like 4 pressures and 10 plays. Oh, wow. Wow. Maybe we ought to get him in.
It's inconceivable to me. I don't know how y'all deal with that.
9 people on the field. Well, Will got hurt.
I feel like Jason Garrett's coaching the Bucs right now.
And then, it was asked and answered in the press conference, and then we just went on to another question.
What did he say? What was the answer in the press conference?
Well, it's about the fourth or fifth question in. Actually, it may be further now. We can play it. We'll take a break. We'll come back.
Oh, yeah,
we'll play it. We have it. So I'll go through and we'll find it for you. So we don't have to listen to the other stuff. We'll get right to the meat. There's a couple of good nuggets in there, so we'll get to that. All right, quick break. When we come back, Todd Bowles in all his glory getting grilled on why the hell did you have 9 people on and not call timeout? TOS, baby. TOS. Hey, we're brought to you by the – man, this is just crazy. Got to get to my live reads. Oh, my God. Synovus, my new sponsor, my good friend John Acosta, one of the big managers over there. I've known him for over 40 years. He's been in local banking here since 1983. You talk about developing relationships, folks. You don't stick around for that long unless you're doing things the right way and have a great reputation. And that's the focus company-wide at Synovus Bank. They're big enough to handle any complex transaction, but small enough to answer the phone when you have an urgent question about your business or account. And for personal accounts, they have a very easy app that works great. You can do everything online. For large or small businesses, you'll get that personal touch and services that'll help your business take your dreams and aspirations to the next level. Let them show you how they can do it. For a get-acquainted meeting to open a business or personal account, just go to synovus.com, find your local branch, go on over there and say, I want to see John Acosta. JP sent me. And he may or may not be there, but you'll get somebody that will take care of your business at Synovus Bank. We love them. Back in 3. Stay with us.
Law Group, Jeeves. Call for a free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. We're local, we're trusted. The law firm brings over 80 years of combined legal experience focusing on clients in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, and national class action cases. If you're injured, get that free case evaluation, no cost to you. The Jeeves Law Group's focus is on auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents, as well as class action and consumer protection law. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. You hear him on the show all the time. Great guy, big Gator fan, and great for the community. The Jeeves Law Group is a highly skilled team with years of experience that will apply their skills, expertise, and knowledge to assist individuals who have been in an accident with compensation for damages, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, and property damage. Get that free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement cost, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA two-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson. So if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom, you want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips.
Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or trying to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group, because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to geddesgordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com or call 813-485-6808.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson, brought to you by the great folks at the Golden Diamond Source. And don't forget, the holidays are engagement season, and we're better than the Golden Diamond Source to get that special ring. Customer service is impeccable. Can you imagine under the tree that Golden Diamond Source box just waiting for her? And then you whip up some great proposal. Oh, you got to do it, folks. Remember, only natural diamonds. It takes billions of years to form natural diamonds. You don't want something that was made in a factory 2 weeks ago, folks. She doesn't want that. And why deal with that mall madness, the parking and all that stuff? Golden Diamond Source has a huge parking lot. You park right there. You go in. You have the greatest folks there to help you with any of your budgetary, whatever it is. They're going to find something great for you. Let them do the work. Trust me, you guys don't want to pick that stuff out. Let Emily or Julie or Steve or somebody, the great staff there, pick something out for you. By the way, speaking of Emily Johnson Weintraub, she has your Emilique collection, which is affordable gold and diamond jewelry. Really stylish, unique stuff that she's designed. You won't find it anywhere else. Check that out. And here's a big one. For the holidays only, 3 to 5 years interest-free financing, folks. That's a big deal. You're not going to pay 29% on your credit cards when you can get interest-free financing. So do that. Only at the Golden Diamond Source. We always say keep it local, right? Julie and Steve do so many things in the community. So let's keep it local. You're going to get the best prices, the best selection. So keep it local anyway at the Golden Diamond Source. All right. Do we have the Todd Bowles grilling from yesterday? We have to ask the questions that needed to be asked. What the hell's going on with 9 men on the field? For God's sakes. And other issues.
They're monsters.
That was Greg Allman saying he was demonstrative on the sidelines.
Oh, is it? Is the question we're looking for after this or before this?
I think it might have been just before this.
Because we're about 4 minutes in right now.
I think it might have been just before this.
All right, let's see. Because we got to get this question in. Let's.
Yeah, because that was good. He was
for us, that there really doesn't go on the stat sheet, but really shows up for us as coaches.
Todd, I know you're dealing with all sorts of injuries before the game, during the game on defense, and that goal line package can be an unusual collection there. But on the Bijan Robinson touchdown, you guys had 9 players on the field.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Well, Will got hurt a little before that, and it wasn't gotten back to the coaches in time, so that happened with one, and we had somebody come off the field on the other one.
Coach, you're usually so stoic.
That's it?
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. That's it. What? What? Your thoughts? Would that have happened?
What in the world? And they let him. You muted yourself.
Yeah, I can't go. I know. I got the lawn man outside the window.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. No.
Your thoughts?
That would not. And that's it. And nobody followed up. Has anybody written about it in Tampa Bay papers or websites or anything? Have you seen anything about? Because there's no way that would have flown here in Dallas. I mean, he would have been lit up post game first of all by the TV broadcast. I mean, I wasn't watching any local post game for Tampa Bay, but did they even talk about it there? Because that is solely on the coaches right there. And it starts at Todd Bowles.
Yeah, there was a great piece last week about how Devin couldn't make the play because he was hurt. I have not seen an expose on the 9 men. I don't. I think
a position coach should have been fired today.
Yeah,
I'm telling you right now, somebody's head should have rolled for that.
Yeah, no.
That just sends the message, like it hasn't already, that you know what, we're okay with mediocrity. We're okay being a joke in the league.
I'm really literally beside myself. Like, I said this yesterday. I said, had they lost the game, I would at least hope it would have been, brought up maybe in a little stronger fashion. But the fact that they won the game by the skin of their teeth should not take away from the fact that you just for the second week in a row in a goal line package, you didn't have 11 people on the field on a professional football team. No, it's not acceptable. And here's the point, folks. We expect that these guys are on the details. That's the expectation. If you're a good coaching staff, you're coaching up, you don't cut your route at 13. You cut it at 12 and a half.
Right.
Okay? That's the level of detail that we expect good teams to make, because I know in covering this league, that's the difference between good teams and bad teams.
Right.
So that's the expectation, is you are coaching to a detailed level that's the difference. The standard in Tampa Bay is maybe let's get 11 on the field in a crucial situation. We're all drunk. If we can kind of, get close to the level of participation that's allowed on each particular play of 11 men, then we're doing okay. Let's not be too tough on the coach. Let's go easy on the coach, okay? He's got a lot going on. Guys are getting injured. Guys are coming in and off the field. Lots of people there in the stands. There's some noise going on. Come on. You guys, give them a break. It's not easy being a defensive coordinator. It's not. You know how hard it is to get 11 guys on and off the field? Do you have any idea the level of sophistication I'm working with here? You know how many defensive packages we have? And the dude got hurt. I know it took like 2 minutes to get him off the field, and the entire training staff was out there, but how are we supposed to react so quickly? How? How do you expect me, when the clock's ticking and I got a lot of different packages here, the guy's on the field for 2 minutes? That's 2 minutes. I need more time than that to get a sub on. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with you people? God, give me a break.
So last week they had 10 men on the field in a goal line situation, right? They huddled together. The coaches got together after the game. We are not going to make that mistake again. I promise you. The following week, well, it wasn't the same mistake. This time we had 2 guys missing.
That's right. Yeah, we can do better. We can aspire to be better than just 10. Watch us stop them with 9. That's how good we are. We don't need 11, JP. We don't need 11. Check out this new creative Tampa 2 I got. It's called the Tampa -2.
The Tampa 1.5.
It's the Tampa -2. It's my new creative. It's going to throw everybody off. They're me looking for linebackers. You know what? We don't have any. Tricked you.
Somewhere Tony Dungy's not happy.
We only got 9. Now what are you going to do? Throws all your keys off, doesn't it? Who do we block? I don't know. Nobody. Nobody there. We don't have to block anybody. Just hand it off. They're going to score.
God, it doesn't matter.
The Tampa -2. We got the Tampa -2 and the TOS. Timeout saved.
Jeez.
Yeah, and we're like, we're in first place. 6 and 7.
Man.
How bad are the Falcons? Our coaching staff can't even get 11 people on the field, and you lost. You lost to this team. Had 85 yards in the first half, and you lost.
I mean, that could be true of every NFC South team right now, right?
Right. I just, I think this team's going to go on a run. 8 days to first place. Jesus. I mean, I give them, the guys are fighting their ass off. They really are. I got to hand it to a lot. They're, now that Devin's off the field, the guys, you saw some effort out there, especially defensively. You really did. I was very, very excited about the level of effort that they played with, especially defensively. And the offensive line is fucking getting after some ass. That was good stuff. But this freaking coaching staff is just so bad. They're not helping anybody. Not helping anybody. The game that Dave Canales is calling, I don't get. From the personnel decisions are just stupid across the board. The overall coaching and game strategy. It's an oxymoron in Tampa Bay. Game strategy. The total oxymoron. It's befuddling. And I'm glad, Tim, you're here who have been in the Dallas media for so long to point out that this wouldn't happen. Can you imagine Sirianni doing that in Philadelphia? It'd be the headline of the paper. The dude'd be fired the next day.
As he
you
should.
Lose to the Cowboys, even if you went to the freaking Super Bowl. How do you have 9 guys on the effing field a week after having 10?
Well, it wouldn't have been Sirianni. It would have been I'm telling you, it would have been a position coach here in Dallas. Somebody would have been fired this morning.
And this is why Todd Bowles is not a great head coach, because he doesn't hold anyone accountable. If you don't hold people accountable, the mistakes continue to happen time and time again. If I were the Glazers and I'm paying this joker, sorry, that sounds personal, but I'm paying a staff this much money to not be able to get 11 guys on the effing field. This is across the board, though. The standards have just eroded everywhere. You look at, how Kadarius Toney. I mean, I still don't, guys do it all the time. In that situation, that should be a warning, not a call. But how do you line up off sides? Dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? I see stupid plays like every game. I'm like, what the F? This guy last night for the freaking Packers, the punt returner moron. First, he drops the ball, and then he's lucky enough to fall on it. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to get up and run. You stupid. That's what cost me the game last night in fantasy football. Giving the Giants a short field twice. By the way, Tommy DeVito on that long run looked like he got in. If he gets in, then there's no Saquon Barkley short handoff for the touchdown run.
Right.
Why did you not challenge that? He was in. By the way, DeVito's agent. Did you see this guy? Did you watch that?
No, I haven't seen this.
Yeah. So Tommy DeVito's agent is dressed in this all black Goomba outfit with a big gold chain and Italian horn and his stupid hat. What was his name? Someone said his name. Eli got his name at I think they made it up. Slimy Gelato or something. His agent's name. Slimy Gelato. It's just and DeVito takes him down the field for the game winning, and the family's going bananas. Hey, great script writing by
Sean Stellato.
Sean Stellato, Slimy Gelato, whatever. What is Sean Stellato? I think it's
Sean
Slimy
Stellato
Gelato.
is his name.
Slimy Gelato sounds better for an agent's name. That'd be a great name. I mean, now
crap.
This is where we're going now with this. Not only the ridiculous calls on the field, now we're making up outside ancillary characters, like a freaking sitcom in the NFL. We got Slimy Gelato in the stands. We got Taylor Swift. I mean, we've gone full Vince McMahon. We've gone full 100% Vince McMahon.
This is WWE.
It's WWE. It's what it is. All right, I got an idea. We'll get right before Taylor releases her album and her movie. In the movie, we're gonna get her to hook up with Travis Kelce. Yeah, because Kelce said you wanted to get her number and you couldn't get through. Blah 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 blah. Great idea. Great publicity for the NFL and Taylor Swift. But now we got Tommy. It was this Jersey kid, Tommy DeVito. Let's get his family in the stands. We'll get an agent to dress up like Slimy Gelato, whatever the hell his name is. There we go. Look at what we're doing.
What in the
world? It's a fucking sitcom. It's an effing sitcom now. What next? What next?
JP, what is happening right now?
I mean, are you serious? Is this guy from Central Casting? What are we doing?
Was he in The Sopranos?
I think he was. Slimy Gelato.
Slimy Gelato.
What are we doing? This is cannot make this shit up.
I'm going to tweet this picture out so everybody can see it.
Yeah.
At IndyCar Tim.
I mean, what are we doing? It's a freaking sitcom. It's an episodic. The NFL. And they're totally gaslighting us with these commercials of the scriptwriter commercials. You know?
They are. They are. It's way more true than we think it is.
Exactly. Make a joke about it so people won't think it's real. Oh. I mean, and all the betting. It's just like they're sitting there just laughing, taking it all to the bank. Taking it all to the bank.
Oh my gosh, dude. This made my day, man. That made my day.
This has been a crazy show, hasn't it? This has been one of the best shows ever.
It's always crazy when I'm on. We never have a normal show.
So I wanted to, hit that. We'll hit that with TJ, who's coming up, the NIL stuff.
Yes.
By the way, Riley Leonard to Notre Dame, the Duke quarterback to Notre Dame, the yearly rent-a-quarterback that's going to go on with Notre Dame now. Sam Hartman was your star in the first episode of NIL transfer portal, now starring Riley Leonard heading to Notre Dame to get all the notoriety. So FSU will play at Notre Dame next year against Riley Leonard again, maybe a more healthy Riley Leonard. So we'll see that.
You hope, yeah. He's good when he's healthy.
I got some other NIL stuff. There's been a breakdown now of where the money's being spent by position.
Right.
So I'm going to get that for you after the break. So we'll have that. And some lightning things as well. So quick break. We'll come back on the other side. I believe the new gambling darling of the Hard Rock app is going to join us as well. Ashley with her incredible parlay will be here in her New York Giants get up, and we'll find out the magic. What is her secret? I think I know what her secret is. She follows all these dramatic shows. So she's just going to predict the storylines.
She's following the script. Yep.
Oh, I think we've cracked the code. You don't want to miss it. Stay with us.
Well, Fitz the mortgage guy did it again. A listener heard his ad, was going to another big bank, but called Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services of Tampa, and Fitz saved him $618 on his monthly payment. Are you kidding me? Folks, that's big money. Rates are going up, they're going down, they're going all over the place. Scott will shop your loan and save you lender fees and get the best rates. Email him, scott@amstampa.com, or call 813-294-7595. That's Fitz the mortgage guy. Lots of stuff going on right now, and these rates are going all over the place. You need somebody knowledgeable in the market that will work hard for you and get you the best deal. That's my man, Scott. He's done 3 loans for me, done thousands of loans for local folks here, works with a lot of the coaches and players in the area. He's the guy. 813-294-7595, or go to scott@amstampa.com.
JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA 2-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson. So if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom, you want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. You might even get some golf tips. Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or trying to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group, because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to geddesgordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com, or call 813-485-6808. Are you tired of those stuffy, overpriced sports bars? Well, come join the fun at the Patio in South Tampa and watch your favorite football teams under the stars in a tropical paradise. Yeah, it's a unique setting with huge wood decks beneath the trees, and don't worry, they have an inside AC bar with all your favorite bar games as well. The patio has all the NFL and UFC sports packages, and it's home to the Tampa Gator Club and Bills Mafia, but all fans are welcome at any time. Hey, my FSU buddies love to watch the Noles at the patio. It's also home to a great happy hour. Weekdays get $4 White Claw vodka drinks and $4 White Claw seltzers, $1 off all beer and wine from 3 to 7:30. And every Friday happy hour, join us for Football Friday. It's our live broadcast from 5 to 7 with tons of specials and the fan mic for you to join the show. We'll have swag and ticket giveaways as well. So come out for the live broadcast 5 to 7 every Friday at the patio and come watch football in a tropical paradise all season long. It's 421 South McDill, just a few blocks south of Kennedy. Everyone meets at the patio.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at the Geddes Gordon Group. If you're looking to do some real estate investing, Jane Geddes is your person. In fact, I'll be having lunch with Jane and Scott Fitzgerald from American Mortgage Services, and we're going to figure out how to get you folks out there buying real estate and getting mortgages, because it's actually not a bad time to do so before the frenzy starts again. So we'll tell you all about that. But Geddes Gordon Group for all your real estate needs. Don't only become a client, become a friend, and that's the Geddes Gordon Group. All right. We need a gambling name. The lovely Ashley here, my betrothed, has
all I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough.
Come on, you can't dance with me?
I'm waiting till everybody's hands go up. Are we there yet?
There we go.
And we stay there?
Was there a dance for this too? I don't know this song.
Yeah, that dropped the beat. Yeah, it dropped the beat right there. So tell me about this. So if you missed the story early on, so last night I come up to bed, I'm watching down here in my man cave, and normally Ashley's up there watching
90 Day Fiance.
90 Day Fiance, of course. And so I go up there and there's football on. And not only is there football on in the bedroom, but she's keeping it on and staying awake.
Well, I had it on for you when you came up to bed. I
Right.
wanted to have it ready for you.
That wasn't why it was on, as I found out later on. Why was it on, Ashley?
It was on because I placed a bet that the Titans and the Giants would win the games.
Did you know that the Titans were 14-point underdogs?
I did not. I just saw that their payout would be the highest. I figured out that if it's a positive number, it pays out more. If it's a negative number, it pays out a lot less. So I said, well, we're going to pick the positive numbers then because I like to win more.
So it was what do you call that bet?
A 2-bet parlay.
Two-team parlay.
Two-team parlay.
Two-team parlay.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
A two-team parlay.
I wish I bet more.
And how much did you bet?
$15. I was very conservative.
So you know that's not the NFL and we're faking it. I'll see if I can get that.
It's green, so it's a little hard with
It's
the
not
light.
showing up.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
We believe you.
All right, I'll put it out there. How much did you bet?
15.
And how much did it pay off?
$357.
Good God.
$357. And so what?
Go New York.
Go New York.
So, and when did you tell me you would bet on the game?
After the Titans clinched it in the final seconds of the game by 1 point.
Did you know that this is the first time in 767 NFL games that a team trailing by 14 points with 3 minutes to go came back to win the game?
No, but it made me very happy when I heard that at the end.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, typically, I'm on the wrong side of history when it happens something like that, like, Smoltzy's kicker. And tell the folks how I was bitching and complaining about John Smoltz beating me because his kicker scored 30 points in fantasy.
Yeah, he was. And you lost by 1 point or 2 points, which was another reason why I didn't want to tell you about this bet because you were really over that. So I didn't want to jinx myself. And we're sitting there watching, and you're like, oh, Saquon Barkley better not get better not run. I don't know, or get a point. Or
I
something.
said kill him.
And
I hope he gets hurt.
And I'm thinking,
I hope he gets frostbite. Is what I said.
Because I'm thinking Saquon Barkley needs to get points and run that ball. And you're like, oh no, I'm gonna lose. And I'm thinking, I think I'm gonna win.
She's holding it all in and doesn't reveal it until after she goes, oh. She's like sitting. I'm like, I can't effing believe I just lost. Probably $1,000 on this on the fantasy. That's a smoltzy. You win the division, it's like $1,000, and then you get to move on. Obviously, I think that the whole prize like $3-4 grand for the league. So I didn't lose much. Just no big deal. 60-yard bill. And so now she's like, got her phone out and like, oh, I think I won. I think I won.
That means I won.
I think this means I won. She shows it to me. I'm like, no.
You were so mad.
I was.
You weren't even happy about it.
I was mad.
So mad.
I was mad.
You were grumpy for like over an hour after, and then you're like, this is so me. I never win anything. I'm like, whatever. And you bet for the first time ever. And yeah,
get in the shot.
But I'm a Giants fan, even though they've been really disappointing.
So why did you so simply your strategy was that was the lowest I could bet for the biggest win.
Well,
I'm gonna take it.
Well, I didn't even know what a 2-bet parlay was, and I accidentally selected 2 things at once. And it's like, do you want? And I was like, oh wait, you can bet for like multiple teams to do something and win off of that. So I said, well, I think the Giants are going to do it this weekend. I think they're going to come through, so I'm going to vote on them. Nice payout. And then I said, well, heck, let's go with the 2. Like I said, that can have the highest payouts. I think the underdogs are going to come out on top this weekend, and they did.
Unbelievable.
Plus, I don't like the Dolphins, so worked out.
Unbelievable. All right. Well, thank you for coming on. And by the way, so her strategy now is just follow the storylines, right? Because the NFL is clearly fixed, and they're just so you just Tommy DeVito, Slimy Gelato, his agent.
Love him.
Did you see Slimy Gelato? He's now one of the characters in this episodic situation comedy drama called the NFL.
Yeah,
he should be, right? Right, absolutely. There he is. There's Slimy Gelato.
How perfect is that?
Yeah. What are we doing? Like it's literally
almighty.
A TV show. Yeah.
He's dressed like Al Capone.
Yeah.
Remember?
He looks like he's right out of Central Casting.
Yeah.
NFL. What are you doing?
Yay.
Get him down on the field. All right. Good job, honey.
And no matter what, if I win, you win. So everybody's a winner here.
If I win, you. How sweet is that?
But if she lost, you never would have known.
I never would have known. She would have told me. She wouldn't have told me.
I would have told you.
She wouldn't have told me. She wouldn't have told me. All right. TJ's texting me. He probably doesn't want to come on after that.
I don't want to be part of this show. What are y'all doing over there?
Yeah. I mean, how does he follow that? How does he fall Slimy Gelato?
No,
after that.
Not at all.
Yeah. I'm serious. I'm going to start betting that way. I haven't got to the comments. So while we're waiting for TJ, I'm going to hit some of the comments. Somebody said this in here regarding the NBA. You remember the old Sacramento Lakers game back in the day that we found out was completely fixed. And while we were watching, we were like, they really want the Lakers to win. They want the Lakers to do this.
Well, they admitted they fixed an entire finals in 2006.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah, I think that's the one we're talking about. Richie P said, I heard NBA guys on a podcast say that if you were not the favorite good story team, that for you to win a game 7, you had to win by 15 just to win by 1. Yeah. So maybe this has been going on a lot longer. You know, we talked about the fix of the 99 championship game, how they wanted Kurt Warner and the greatest show on turf. Richie says, yeah, hell, they made a damn movie out of it. That's right.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, hey, we already got the script written. Go ahead and make this one. The book's already done.
The guy from Shazam.
Yeah. And the McAfee interview with Herb Street, you just wish he had the guts to surprise Herb Street and say, Herbie, you were on the jump FSU train long before Travis's injury. No such luck. McAfee follows instructions. Yeah, McAfee's the total freaking sellout. Total freaking sellout. You know?
Big time.
Yeah, and everybody knows it. But hey, you make the money. I guess you can sleep at night. And then one more here from Bucs Basement. MLBPA is going to destroy the CBA in 2026 because of the Dodgers. They will install a salary cap so the wealthy teams cannot manipulate the way Dodgers just did. Integrity of Major League Baseball is at stake. Integrity anywhere? Anyone? No, sorry. All right, let's bring in our good friend TJ Reeves here.
Boy, it's been quite a day here, TJ. I don't want to drag you into all this, but it is.
I have had my own day back and forth and on a live show. I have not been privy as of yet to what's going on with your day.
You don't want to know. You don't want to know.
I'm just Timmy, are you keeping it down the middle? Are we in the straight and narrow here on the program?
I'm afraid I'm the one pulling us off into the ditch usually, TJ.
All right.
Everybody's on board.
I sent you a clip of me venting on the Nothing But Bucs podcast. I don't know if you got to that clip or if you cared. Or
no, I wanted to. Did you email it to me?
I did email it to you, but that's okay. I'll give you the short version of what's on the clip. You can hear it on the Nothing But Bucs podcast. I have just gotten fed up with hearing, why are you winning that game from the Bucs standpoint?
Oh, my gosh.
And so I just finally said, if you're a true fan of this team, then you want to win games at the end of the year and make the playoffs, because we've been through the odyssey of losing seasons and play for the draft and play for the draft pick. Heck, the decade of the 2010s was basically that.
Yes.
So I use the words go away. If you are not a true fan and you're only caring about the draft pick and can we fire Todd Bowles and get rid of Baker Mayfield, and you don't want to savor winning a clutch game like what Sunday was to keep you alive for the division, you now have tremendously important games with Green Bay and Jacksonville straight ahead. If you're caring more about that you're ruining the draft pick, my words were go away on that podcast. Delete your accounts, delete your socials, take off your Tom Brady jersey as you became a Buck fan like 3 years ago. Take off your Brady shirt or your Gronkowski shirt, and let the rest of us that have been around for 30, 40 years, 20, 30 years supporting this, have this playoff opportunity come, and let's see what happens with meaningful football. There's the gist of it. There's the gist of what I said.
Man, I would have seen that. Yeah.
Thank you. So you just added to an epic show. I think we're going to send this one into the potties or whatever the hell you get for the potties.
Goes into the broadcast archives, the broadcast Hall of Fame, you think?
Yeah. No, but that's a great rant. And, I talked a little bit about this with Dave Archer yesterday, because, the Falcons are kind of in the same boat.
Right.
When you're in that middle part, in the back of your head, like some of these fans do, that, in the end, probably going to get our ass kicked if we win, by a better team like happened last year. But
can I stop you? But do we know that? I mean,
we don't. We don't. No. Thank you, Florida State. No, we don't know that.
With the exception maybe of San Francisco, do we really know that anybody in the NFC is that much better than whomever they're going to play, including Philadelphia or Dallas? I don't think we do.
Philadelphia suddenly looks like a really bad football team.
And Jalen Hurts is hurt, literally, I think, and trying to play through being hurt. They're not the same team.
No,
that Dallas team looks very good right now, but that's the same team that lost to 3-10 Arizona at full strength.
Yeah.
And you look at those two games last night, where, I mean, what the New York Giants now are suddenly relevant with Tommy DeVito.
Yeah.
The Tennessee Titans are dead.
You need a good story. Here's what the Bucs need, TJ. We need a good story. Like, we need something to happen where we get Baker Mayfield finds out, or, is now dating Taylor Swift, instead of his wife who's having a baby.
Not likely, but yeah, I understand what your point is. Yes,
we need, or let's bet maybe who's a young single guy on the team that's
I don't know. K. Dotton, let's say.
K. Dotton. Let's say K. Dotton starts dating
a supermodel.
A supermodel.
Right, a famous
we need
Instagram
somebody very
a movie star.
A movie star. Somebody like that. That's what we need. And then we need her in the box so we can, because that's what the NFL has basically become now with last night with DeVito and his agent Slimy Gelato, who's down on the field with the cell phone and the Italian horn and there we go.
It's tremendous.
This Slimy Gelato here. This is the guy. That's his actual name.
But they
in a black pinstripe
won
suit.
That game, and do we know what to expect week to week anymore in this NFL?
The NFL is going to manufacture storylines. Yeah,
where anybody can beat anybody. And Tennessee is dead in the water last night, and then they find a way in the final 4 minutes to beat the best team, or one of the best teams record-wise in the AFC.
Yeah.
The Dolphins would have been the number 1 seed last night if they'd have hung on to a 14-point lead.
Yeah,
I mean those that want the ultra competitive mediocrity, anybody can beat anybody. This is what Tom Brady was talking about a couple of weeks ago. You have it. Because with the exception of San Francisco being apparently elite, They're going to bludgeon whoever they play, it looks like. And Carolina being completely hopeless, the other 30 teams is put them in a box, shake them up, and throw it up in the air right now.
Yeah. And lest we forget, that same impregnable 49ers team lost 3 straight games.
Yes, they did.
So, I mean.
And I was there, and I realized they may have taken the foot off their gas a little bit at 27-7, but the Bucs got a touchdown. It's 27-14, and they had the ball back in the red zone to get to within 1 score.
Yeah.
It's not as though they were beaten by 30 or 40
like they were last year
by the 49ers. And all I'm saying is get to the promised land, get to the playoffs, and even with a home game, I think you've got a puncher's chance. Even against a Dallas or a Philadelphia, you certainly have a puncher's chance against the likes of Minnesota and Seattle. These are the other teams that have 6 wins, or Minnesota has 7 wins. So by my understanding right now, they're in the 6th spot for the wild card. So the 7th spot wild card, are you ready? Has Atlanta, has New Orleans, has the Bucs, has Seattle, has San Francisco and Green Bay. 6 teams with 6 wins, and somebody gets the wild card out of that. Somebody that doesn't win their division gets the wild card out of that as the final wild card team in the NFC right now. So it's open. And look, play meaningful football, play important games. I mean, this is going to be a lot of fun in Green Bay Sunday because the winner has a head-to-head tiebreaker over the other one in the wild card.
Yeah.
I mean, JP, it's not far-fetched that if you win this game, you now have a 7th win with 3 to play, and you're on the wild card radar as well as the division radar if you don't win the division. So I'm all about meaningful football, brother. At the end of the
day. And I've espoused such strategies. Well, I haven't espoused them, but we've had people talk about it. I've talked about it, and I understand where fans are coming from in terms of not wanting to be in the middle, and I get that. But what trumps that is the history of this franchise, as you say. I mean, we've had 6 years we've had home playoff game. I think that's what it is. 6, maybe 7.
6 out of 46 years.
Yeah, that's not a lot. So if we have an ability to get another one, that's right. You go for it. And whatever, I joke about it, but yeah, you go for it. No question about it. And you enjoy it. Dudes, football season is only 6 months long.
That's right.
If we can play meaningful games for the next 4 weeks, well then fantastic. Let's do it. Let's have some fun.
And it would be one thing, and we've lived this. It would be one thing if you're at the end of a 17-game schedule and you're like 3-11 with 3 to play and no shot to make the playoffs.
0.
It would be one thing.
Yeah, that's not where we're
that is not this. You're 6-7 with a chance now to be 7-7 with a win coming up on Sunday, and then you are ultra relevant. And these are 2 tremendous games on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve with playoff relevant teams that you get at home. And I'm supposed to care about what this team is going to do in April in the draft? No, thank you.
No. And here's the other thing. I think we've proven that that's a pretty inexact science, the whole draft thing. So even if you have the number 1 pick, you are in control. Then they say you're in control of you're in control of nothing. You have no idea who that guy's going to be, what he's going to be, how he's going to be. And the chances are better than not that the first season's going to suck. That's a given. And the chances are he's not going to be great. That's what history tells us.
And one more, because I know you got to get out of here. We lived through this in the 2010s of, okay, Raheem Morris did get a 3rd year, but then right after that, the name we don't talk about got 2 years. Lovie Smith got 2 years. Dirk Cutter got a 3rd year, but probably could have been gone after 2 years. Do we really want to go down the odyssey again of trying to find a coach versus win some games with the current coach? What a novel concept. Keep the same offensive coordinator and maybe keep the same stop me here. Maybe keep the same quarterback, and maybe it improves as this year goes on and improves in 2024. Heaven forbid. As opposed to fire everybody into the sun, get rid of everybody and start over. We did that for a whole decade and didn't appear in the playoffs once trying it. Bagel, donut, none. I'm here spewing optimism for you on a Tuesday. That's why you have me here, and this is going to be a lot of fun in Green Bay.
Not to upset your rant in any way, but
listen.
Can I aspire to have 11 men on the field
the goal line?
Yes, I would agree with you that believe it or not, we were having this discussion in the broadcast booth after we joked and you and I talked off the air that on the Ryan Neal play, and I know you got to go here in like 60 or 90 seconds, so stop me whenever you need to.
No,
but
just keep going.
When Neal made the play on Chuba Hubbard on the goal line, second half against Carolina, there were only 10 guys on the field. They did not get another offensive lineman. Instead of playing the 3-4, they were playing the 2-4. My understanding is that on Sunday, there were no middle linebackers. There were no. So we were playing the 3-2, like a zone defense
it's called
in basketball.
Tampa -2. It's a new defense.
So pregame, Dave Moore and Gene Deckerhoff and our people were standing up there in the booth, and we were talking about the 10-man play. And Dave even said, you can legally play with 10, and can't you legally play with 9? And I said, yes, but it's not advisable. Little did we know that they were out there with 9 guys in the chaos on the Bijan Robinson touchdown. I say to you and to everybody else, your chances greatly improve with the 10th guy and certainly with the 11th guy. Let's have 11 on the field from here on out.
Let's go. That'll be a rallying cry.
TJ, why wasn't a position coach fired on Monday morning?
I don't know.
It's not even a story in Tampa Bay. Nobody's even talking about it except me.
Somebody's got to count it up. Got to have 11 out there. Let's hope we have 11 at all times, Sunday in Green Bay. And we apparently are going to get a little bit of a break. The extended forecast, what do these weather people know? Say mid-30s and no snow.
Wow.
Not in the teens, not freezing.
You don't even need a jacket for that, TJ.
It'll be cold, but it will not be freezing cold. TJ will not be a popsicle or whatever happens coming up. And once again, if you win this game, I look forward to being with you if you win this game, because now it is all in front of you for the Jacksonville and New Orleans game. Stay tuned.
Nothing but Bucs podcast. Nothing but Bucs podcast.
Yes, sir.
Go check it out.
Highlights, interviews, TJ rant at the beginning. I'm like Chevy Chase there going off in a Christmas vacation, and he curses and says, "Where's the Tylenol?" That was not quite me, but it was close.
Who wants to see the world's biggest ball of twine?
It's a bit nipply.
Did you know, before I depart, did you know not a Real House in Christmas Vacation, Hollywood House on the Hollywood lot, Timmy, same house as the Lethal Weapon house.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson, Danny Glover.
Yep.
Same house in Christmas Vacation as the Lethal Weapon first 2 movies.
Yep.
Thought I would share that.
Thank you, Clark. Appreciate you, Clark.
The Griswolds and the Murtaughs, right? Was Danny Glover's character. Lived in the same house on a lot in Los Angeles. Okay, with that, let's see what the Bucs do. Always good to be with you, brother.
Thank you, TJ. All right. Thank you, Timmy. That was one hell of a show. I'm going to put that up for the potties.
We'll never top that one.
Yeah, that was fantastic. If you missed anything, go back and check it out. That was an epic show on so many levels. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Our thanks to Scott Reynolds, TJ Reeves. Timmy, you did a hell of a job here today. If you go listen, if you missed anything, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, fanstreamsports.com. Check it all out. We thank you guys for joining us. Thanks to all our sponsor, Jeeves, BAMMC.com, Bay Area Modern Medical Center, Italiano Insurance, Golden Diamond Source, The Geddes, Gordon Group, American Mortgage Services, and Synovus Bank. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you tomorrow.